Yo, what's good, everybody? In today's video, I want to talk about something that's been heavily requested in the community. This will be a short video, but this is just me talking about mental health and kind of giving you guys some tips and things to consider whenever you're in your ranked games. Everybody knows that the Valorant ranked landscape is an interesting place. There's a lot of very opinionated people, especially in certain ranks. Um, and you know, at the end of the day, people are very, very invested in their rank and the success that they find in ranked. And oftentimes it's because honestly, a lot of the times it's all that they have going for them at the moment, and that's okay. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different situation and a different upbringing, and there's nothing wrong with putting a lot of stock in this game. But when you start judging people for their shortcomings or their bad plays or the fact that they missed a shot that you would have hit or the fact that maybe they don't have as many hours as you in the game or that their game sense isn't as good as yours, you start to introduce a lot of toxicity into your games and into your teams. And when you do that, you mess with the level of confidence of your teammates, and you mess with the vibes. And guys, I'm telling you, the team with the better vibes usually wins in ranked. Okay? So I want to give you guys a couple things to consider here in ranked, but also talk about some things that you can do if you experience a toxic ranked teammate. All right? Now, this Venn diagram here, I think, says it all for me. Now, and this is something very valuable. This is not just about Valorant, this is about life in general. There are things you can control, there are things that matter, and then there's things that you can kind of do, things that matter that you can control. And so, a lot of the time, you cannot control the decision making of your teammates or the success and failures of your individual teammates. You can do everything in your power to support them and try to set them up for success. But at the end of the day, you can't force someone to be successful or do things the way that you envision them to do them. And so at the end of the day, you cannot force people to change. And if people are going to be harsh and opinionated against you, that's just what they're going to do. So oftentimes, if you run into somebody like this, it's best to just mute them unless you have the mental fortitude to kind of talk it out with them. All right. Now, things that matter to you might not matter to someone else. Okay. And so a ranked game that matters a lot to you might not matter to the next player. Okay. Because maybe they're down bad. Maybe they've lost 14 out of their last 20 games. Maybe they just don't care right now. And you know what? That's part of ranked. Ranked is not a true depiction of your skill, and it never will be. All right? The more you play with higher skill level players, the more you'll see that, like, those games are even just as crazy, right? But you introduce less variance if you play with a duo or a trio. So I always recommend that to you guys. Try to limit the amount of variance when it comes to your teammates. But yeah, guys, just because things matter to you doesn't mean they should matter to someone else, right? Ideally, we everybody would play ranked and take it just as seriously as the next person, but that's just not reality. And so we got to stop living in this facade, like dream world where everybody's going to try and give 110% every single time. And when you're overly invested and you're giving it your all, you have all your eggs in one basket, and you see that the person next to you, your teammate, is not trying as hard as you, oftentimes that will get to you. But I'm telling you guys, it's out of your control. So you really need to focus on this center part of this Venn diagram. And if you don't, you're gonna. This is what's gonna happen to you right here. All the hair you got up here, it's gonna be gone. Now, if you care about that hairline, start caring about things that matter, but also things that you can control. Okay? Don't just focus on yourself. Understand that people are human. They're likely to make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that people have different values and different levels of focus and determination when it comes to these ranked queues. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you go into things with that mindset, a lot of times you'll start to realize that as long as you focus on the things you can control, you can focus on the things that you can personally improve at. Over time, you're going to have better mental health. You're going to start to improve, and you're just going to be a better person for it. Okay. Now, I want to talk about some things that you guys can do if you run into these ranked teammates. A lot of the times, I think it's just best to kind of mute them and ignore them. Don't let what they say get to you. It happens, they're going to say whatever it takes to ruffle the feathers and get a reaction out of you. These people are bullies. They are overly invested in this, and it's all that matters to them at the end of the day. In that moment, is what happens in that queue, win or loss. And so I think we've come a far, we've fallen pretty far, as a community in Valorant, and I think there's a lot of toxicity in ranked, and so sometimes it just makes sense to mute people and move on. There's nothing wrong with that. If you go one game without having comms from one player, so be it. Don't let it affect you. Focus on what you can control and your own performance, and whatever else happens, happens. That's just what happens in ranked, guys. The more you care about what other people do, the less you're going to be able to focus on yourself. And when you can't focus on yourself, you can't improve. Um, I hope this resonates with you guys. And I really, really hope that you can kind of be, if you're part of my community and you like learning and you enjoy my content, I really hope that you guys can be positive as well, because positivity is contagious, okay? The same way that negativity is, right? One person says one thing, the next person is snappy in response, and then you got two chihuahuas barking at each other and you can't even focus on your own gameplay. If you can be the person, the bigger person that tries to be positive, that isn't yapping back or barking back, and is level headed a lot of the times, or just mute somebody, you can set yourself up for success. And honestly, my hope with making this video is just to make the community a better place and try to open some eyes. The behavior that a lot of us are kind of um, are showing and operating with just isn't optimal and isn't healthy on an interpersonal level, but also within team settings. So I really hope that this video helps you guys. At the end of the day, do what's best for you. Control what you can control. If you can't control somebody else's talking, hit the mute button, move on. Ranked is ranked. It's not a depiction of your skill. I know that it's really tough and you guys care a lot about ranked, but at the end of the day, you should care about your own mental health more. I wish you guys the best of luck. Stay positive, and I appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Thank you.